Okay, so now I started. Okay, so my name is Tricia Crain, and I'm with the Arc of Story County. I'm going to talk about two specific projects tonight that we got up and going through the Arc of Story County. I could not be more uncomfortable with the word I. So if I had the initial concept, it was completely a group and a team of people who helped me get these projects up and going. The first one being Project Search. Project Search is a nationally based employment training program run by the ARC, but hosted by Iowa State University. It is an employment training program for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This is our class this year. We have 6 students who report to class Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 2:30. They rotate through 3 different internship sites throughout the university, and there'll be a list of the internship sites in a little bit. The first hour of every day is spent in classroom time, and the last half hour of every day is spent in classroom time. Upon completion of the program, they have a 93% success rate of employment in the community. We're very proud. There's over 500 project searches in the United States. Over 75% of them take place at hospitals. We were very fortunate that Iowa State took us on. There's only about 30 university programs in the United States, and the ARC is the smallest organization to pull off a project search program. Prior to COVID, we went to the national conference in Anaheim, California. Dr. Linda Lynn and myself, who is our business liaison through Iowa State, they asked us to present at the National Project Search Conference about what it is like to put on a quality project search program at a university. So not only are we the smallest, but we're the best. And we couldn't be more proud of that. These are just a handful of the internship sites that I could think of off the top of my head. I would like to proudly say that athletics hires every single one of the interns that comes through their program to be full-time employees in the Iowa State Athletics Department. The swag that those students come home with, they have to hide it because everybody wants to intern at Iowa State Athletics because of the swag they get. This is Emily, who is a current student, and Emily is doing her current internship at This is Surplus, where that's like the garage sales of Iowa State every Wednesday. And then you'll see Connor soon, and Connor does his internship in dining services. And of course, dining services, as you see the ads all over the place, they would like to have all 6 of our interns currently in dining services. But not only are we partnering with the community and letting these individuals do something that all of us want to do. And the nice thing about working with people with disabilities is they want to be employed. Some of us perhaps are employed because we have children we need to put through college, but our project search students want to be employed. My next project certainly couldn't have been taken part in the community without my favorite quote by Margaret Mead: "Never doubt that a small group of committed citizens can change the world." So it was probably 7 or 8 years ago that I called up Keith Abraham, our local Park and Rec director. I would have loved to have had it been you, Nancy, but I'm sorry. Our local Park and Rec director, and said, "Keith, we need an inclusive playground here in Story County." For all of the accolades that Story County has for being the place to recreate, the place to retire, the place to go to college, the place for young people to live, the fact that I kind of felt we were behind the 8 ball in regards to having an inclusive playground. We have wonderful, wonderful services here in Story County for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And this was just another feather to our cap that we could add. So Keith and I went down and toured an Ankeny facility because they already had theirs. I would say that ours is the Taj Mahal now compared to the Ankeny facility. We kind of we kind of took Keith out of the equation, and we formed a group of community leaders that we knew could get the project up and going. We did all of the private fundraising and grant writing ourselves, and then we gifted the park to the city. It was a $2.2 million endeavor. It took longer than I would have liked, but now to see what takes place there, I've had people come up to me and say, "Tricia, the park was packed today. Can you do another one?" Well, as it turns out, my husband is the certified playground safety inspector for the city, so this is kind of our talk at night, is that he says, well, I had to go fix another, and typically he says a 4-letter word, and something else at the playground. And again, this is a group of us. Last summer, one of our program coordinators couldn't make it to work, and so my daughter and I, Briar, who's in the middle, we grabbed a kickball and we went with our Special Olympic athletes and we played kickball, and by the end of the night there was rows of kids who were playing in the park that night that wanted to be part of our kickball game. And I'm going to start to get choked up. But that's really what it's all about. And so then I go into my daughters because I think they're fabulous, and they're maybe kind of my third project. But I graduated from Iowa State University in 1996 with my degree in social work when Iowa State still had an accredited social work program. And all I have ever done is work with people with disabilities. So therefore, it is all our daughters know, is being around people with disabilities. Each of them have chosen a profession that is going into that field. Our oldest daughter is in the DMAC Iowa BSN program, and she wants to work with children with special health care needs. 2 of our daughters are in this picture. They're unified athletes for our dance group. I come home at night and I'll say, gosh, we don't have enough unified athletes for softball or for dance. And they'll say, don't worry, Mom, we'll take care of it. Our daughter, Briar, is a freshman at Iowa State University majoring in special education. Briar watches Amy. Amy is a delightful person, and I called them one day last summer. Typically, our daughters are teenagers. They don't necessarily all get along. They were all 3, I FaceTimed one of them, probably Bryn, our youngest. They're all 3 cuddled up on the couch together watching a movie. And I said, and then out peeks Amy. The reason they're all cuddled up on the couch together watching a movie is because Amy is there with them. Our daughter, Bryn, when she was in kindergarten, we went to her first conference, and her teacher said, Bryn gets her work completed, and then she looks around the room, and the teacher said, I can see her thinking to herself, who can I go help? And Bryn slowly got up and would go help around in the room. So last week I was cleaning Bryn's room, and this was written in her journal, and I had to confess to her. But it says, describe some dreams placed on your heart. And her number 1 was help others with disabilities. And so to me, I really think that says it all, that we all don't recognize what we can do for others. And if you can get your own children involved, your grandchildren involved, yourself involved with our Special Olympics, with our Miracle League on Saturday mornings. These projects started because I try and think to myself every day, what can I do to assist others in living a life that the rest of us take for granted? And so to me, that's really what it's all about. And that's why these projects started, is my board supported me. And I think if all of us think to ourselves, what can we do for others? What can we do to assist others in living a life that we take for granted? Perhaps, we wouldn't have what we have today. So, okay, I guess that's it.